Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Keeping It Global, a podcast series brought to you by Lehigh Brown and White and Iacocca Global Village program. My name is Brooke Bishelia, and today we're here with a very special guest who's tuning in all the way from Russia. Please give a warm welcome to Elena Larina. Hi, Elena. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm really happy to see you. Yeah, too sad we're miles apart, but still possible with nowadays broadband connection. And here in Moscow, it's 9 p.m. in the evening, and it has been really foggy for a couple of days. So the mood for a cup of coffee and a good interview.
Perfect. Yes, we're so happy to be able to talk with you today. So we're super excited. So to kind of get right into it, we're just trying to give our readers a little bit of a sense of what your life is like. So my first question is, I know you live in Moscow, which is one of the largest cities in Russia. And for some of the viewers, including myself, who've never been there, I was just wondering if you could give us a little bit of a sense of what your hometown is like.
I'm originally from the far east of Russia. It's all the way to the east, very close to Japan and China. The very, very small town called Novoshakhtinsky, and it is 3 hours away from the big city of Vladivostok, 3 hours away by bus or by train. That's where I grew up. That's where my mom lives now. And my brother and his family, they also live in Vladivostok. And it has been about 8 years now that I live in Moscow.
I was hoping to get a little bit of information about what it's like to live in Moscow right now, currently in your life.
Yeah.
Any favorite parts of it, any least favorite parts of it, just kind of getting a sense of what it's like to live there.
Yeah. Well, as soon as I came here, I just fell in love because Moscow, for me personally, it is the best city in the world because it has everything you need. Everything works pretty much 24/7. Well, when I came here, I was much younger and I could go to bars and enjoyed the nightlife. And comparison to other countries, other cities, here in Moscow, it's possible to party all night long until 6 a.m. in the morning, and that's amazing.
Yeah, well, it sounds amazing. I definitely have to visit someday. I think it's kind of comparable when you're saying there's so much activity at night. It's kind of like New York City here, they say it's the city that never sleeps. And I feel like that probably is a comparable thing there. So my next question was, what are some things that most Americans, you think, would not know about Russia?
Well, that should be something different, I guess. The first thing that comes to my mind when I compare also my life in the United States is that we drink hot tea. And I don't know if American people drink hot tea, but for us, cold tea is something, iced tea is something unusual. We like to have a nice, warm, hot cup of tea. No matter when, it can be morning, afternoon, or in the evening. And the people who work in an office, they always have a cup of tea in front of them on the table. Another thing that came to my mind is it's interesting that our middle names always come from our father's name. For example, my middle name is Vladimirovna, which repeats the name of my father, Vladimir.
Wow, those are pretty great fun facts I didn't know about. So now I know that you've lived in America for at least a year. I know we kind of touched upon that. And I kind of just wanted to know what that experience was like for you.
Right. When I was 16 years old, I was so lucky to go to the United States and be an exchange student for 9 months for a school year. I lived in an American host family in a state of Missouri, to be precise. And then people told me about Missouri. in the middle of nowhere yet, because it's in the middle of the United States, and it was literally on a farm.
Mhm.
But my host family was amazing. So if you ask me what I really liked, what I like the most, it's the family bond that I experienced in America. Family reunions that they had, and I remember every weekend it was either we were going somewhere to visit a relative, or relatives, people from the family came over to our house, and we had such a good time watching a baseball game, having barbecue dinner, etc. So that was very important for me. That showed me and brought me brought such values, family values, into my life.
So now kind of back to more broad about your life. I was kind of wondering what you like to do in your free time.
Oh, my free time. Well, it depends what kind of free time. If I'm too tired, I just go to sleep. And if I have some time to relax, I read a good book, or I do yoga, because that's something that I took up about 5 years ago, and I now understand I can't live without yoga. I even became a yoga instructor last year.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I actually did know that you have a passion for yoga. I was kind of wondering how'd you get into yoga, and like what's your favorite thing about it?
Well, it all started when I like traveling, and once I really wanted to go to India, but having heard a lot of scary stories about this country, I didn't want to go alone, and I was looking for a partner to go, or some kind of tour group to go with. And a friend of mine told me that she has a good yoga instructor who organizes a yoga tour in India, which I finally joined. And before that, prior to that, I had experience of practicing yoga in yoga schools in Moscow, but I perceived it as, going to the gym, for example. And then I spent 10 days learning the basics of yoga and because yoga, it's not just a sport, it's more of the way of life, the way of thinking. And when I understood all that, it's I was sold out.
I actually
And
feel totally the same way with my experience. I was kind of slow to get into it, because at first I was like, this is kind of a strange form of exercise if I'm just holding this one position. But then once you kind of understand the mindfulness associated with it and the breathing, I think it becomes a much more like wholesome experience. So yeah, I definitely see that.
Yeah, you understand me. And I just think you have to find the proper teacher, the person who would reveal, who would open it up for you, for a particular person. Yeah, so then when I came back to Moscow, I found a yoga school that suited me, and I started going there, and I realized they had an in-depth course of yoga, which I also took, and then I went on and got the Yoga for Beginners instructors course last year. And this summer, I organized a small group in the park next to my house, and I taught yoga in the park.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds awesome. So I was wondering, other than being a yoga instructor, what do you do for a living?
Mm-hmm. Well, I am an English teacher. And I have been teaching for about 8 years. That's how my life started in Moscow. I came here, I was looking for a job, and I found a job teaching because basically that's what I could do very good, could explain and speak English. Yeah, so it was not very difficult to find a job for me. And yeah, that's what I'm still doing, and I don't want to give up.
Yeah, so it does seem as though you really enjoy teaching. I was wondering what's kind of the most interesting or maybe even rewarding part of your work?
Yeah, that's why it always keeps me interested because, well, I teach both kids and adults, and I work in a language center as well as for myself. Mm, And teaching adults is what's really rewarding for me because I explain rules and of course I do what I can. But when they apply rules and tell their opinions, their points of view, or some interesting facts from their fields of work, that's when I learn. So of this is teaching, but a big part of that is learning myself. Because if a person is a regular office worker, he does the same thing every day. But for me, my life every day is different. So every lesson is something new. It's very unique. That's what keeps me going.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. So my next question is, what attracted you to our Global Village program here?
Oh, I'm always interested in all kinds of programs. Since I was at university, I participated in, we mentioned the exchange program to go to the United States when I was a school child. But at university, I participated in a couple of more exchange programs. I went to South Korea, then I went to France. So it's still, the way I am. I could without, entering some kind of program. But having a COVID time right now, it's more and more, it's getting more and more difficult, to get into things where you can meet people, especially face to face. But here it was so special for me. It was like a little life, for about a month. Well, it was 3 weeks, but almost a month. And yes, an international community, speaking English, of course, practicing my English skills, and meeting people from all over the world. That's amazing.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. So I was wondering if you're planning on going to the Iacocca Global Village reunion next year, and if so, what are you most looking forward to about it?
Yes, of course. Well, on the first place, I was going to go to the Lehigh campus even this summer, which was not possible, and I am all prepared. Just a matter of the restrictions that I will either face or not face, but will overcome eventually. And I can't wait to see everyone we were together with, and especially my project team and our project team mentor Wagner, and guide group and our guide group mentor Milaku, because meeting them every day online, it's made us a little family. That's what I'm very excited about.
Yeah, it sounds awesome. So before I let you go today, I think we've really gotten a chance to get to know you a little bit better, which is so great. So thank you so much for that. But before we end, I kind of wanted to give you one last opportunity to say anything you'd want to say to the Lehigh community.
Right. Well, Lehigh community, as far as I understand, that's the university and everything that is attached to that, like all kinds of programs. And the only thing I have is gratitude, because it takes great enthusiasm, yeah, to organize things like international programs and such, international level. I remember waking up during the program, waking up and going to the computer and listening to Michael morning message and seeing sparkles in his eyes. That's made my day. And everyone like that in Lehigh with sparkles in their eyes. That's what makes it worthy.
Well, great. Thank you so much. Again, we're so pleased with the opportunity to be able to speak with all these interesting people from across the world, including you. So again, thank you so much for putting in the time to talk with me today. I hope you all really enjoyed getting to know Elena with me today. And for all of our viewers, thank you so much, and be sure to stay tuned for more.